you still have a system in which people can change out the government if they see fit. It's exactly why someone like Elon Musk would be like, well, this is why we need to move to other systems. I don't like the idea of the Federal Reserve, being in charge of the ones who actually print money. I would prefer if there was a decentralized currency that I can manipulate, being the world's richest human. And here we have it. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing. I can buy up a whole bunch of Bitcoin and then influence the price and value of the Bitcoin. I can control it. I can manipulate it. And when I need to, I can move it to another account. I can also turn it into centralized currency whenever I want to use stuff with that money again. Okay, I want to talk about the crypto crash. Change gears for a little bit. Try to move away from this horrifying tragedy.
Everyone is panicking about cryptocurrency. We're going to unpack what's happening for you by looking at a different market crash. So let's go back to January 2009. President Obama had just been inaugurated and the world was reeling from the 2008 financial crisis. The banks, which caused all of this, were only saved by a taxpayer-funded government bailout. That made a wide variety of people very unhappy.
I simply do not want to bail out Wall Street with taxpayers paying the bill.
That same month, the very first block of Bitcoin was released by the pseudonymous Satoshi Nakamoto, with this cryptic message in the code. The Times, 3rd of January 2009, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. A clear sign, cryptocurrency was created, at least in part, as a reaction to the financial crisis and bailouts. At the time, progressives and crypto folks seemed to agree. Traditional financial institutions created a corrupt system that benefited a small set of wealthy elites and excluded the rest of society. But they were split in how they responded. Progressives are fighting an uphill battle for more regulation on banks, less wealth concentration, and reasonable checks on the power of the financial industry that created this crisis. Meanwhile, cryptocurrency advocates believe the solution is less government and less regulation, so they simply built a parallel financial industry. And they did it all while promising working-class investors supercharged returns in a fairer, more equitable financial system where anyone could get ahead. But today, crypto is a mirror of the risky, unregulated system that caused the 2008 collapse.
Major financial institutions have teetered on the edge of collapse.
Crypto collapsed over the weekend.
Every day they're pounding it. Crypto, it got crushed again on Monday.
Almost 1 out of 4 mortgage holders in this country are now underwater.
40% of Bitcoin investors are now underwater.
How did we get here? And who does cryptocurrency really benefit? I'm münecat, and this is the classroom from More Perfect Union. Imagine the wild neon of a casino advertising a new slot machine that guaranteed you wins with little risk. But inside the slot machine, you're secretly gambling on the housing of millions of Americans. As early as the 1970s, the financial industry was selling the opportunity to invest in mortgage-backed derivatives, a so-called financial innovation that would one day crash and bring the entire economy down with it. Mortgage-backed derivatives are just one of the many non-traditional investment opportunities that made up a vast shadow banking system. Even the most savvy, experienced, money-hungry investors in the world believed these investments were worth trillions of dollars. And they sold that optimism to the American working class so that they would bring all of their money to the Wall Street casino. And the whole scam was enabled by the government. Congress repeatedly chose not to regulate the shadow banking world or limit its overlap with the real economy. Which takes us back to 2008.
It was a record amount, $700 billion to rescue the country's failing banks.
On the left, this brought about a nationwide movement to restrict the banks through democratic people power. But another plan was brewing. On Halloween 2008, Satoshi Nakamoto sent out an email to a cryptographer's mailing list. I've been working on a new electronic cash system that's fully peer-to-peer. Attached was the Bitcoin white paper. In a series of replies with curious cryptographers, Satoshi revealed some potential economic political philosophy. Bitcoin is very attractive to the libertarian viewpoint if we can explain it properly. Governments are good at cutting the heads off centrally controlled networks, but pure peer-to-peer networks seem to be holding their own. That's in line with the philosophy of Tim May, an influential cryptographer and pioneer of crypto anarchy, using tech to defend individual freedom against government interference. May has been widely cited as an influence on Bitcoin. Satoshi's white paper cites an essay by another cryptographer, Wei Dai, which opens with, "I am fascinated by Tim May's crypto anarchy. In crypto anarchy, the government is not temporarily destroyed, but permanently forbidden. Bitcoin emerged from the crypto anarchy community, building on ideas from its progenitors and adherents. We don't know who Satoshi is, and we don't know their political goals, if any. But from the bits that we can see among crypto pioneers, the response to the barely accountable and barely regulated financial system crashing was less accountability and less regulation. Crypto presents itself as a decentralization, something that offers open access to all, equally and equitably. But in reality, cryptocurrency is looking a lot like the unregulated shadow banking system that it was.
Whoa, scary. Oh, jump scares. Urban Artifact, thank you for subscribing to Tier 1. Appreciate it. I'm glad there's a streamer that lets us actually watch the video instead of pausing it every 5 seconds. You typed that too soon. You typed that way too soon. Look, we're doing a pause right now. This is terrible.
Supposed to counter. Again, like 2008, the people that come out ahead will be a small group of elites, like billionaire PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel. He has invested in cryptocurrency exchange startups, blockchain apps, and of course, plenty of actual crypto. Thiel shares some of that anti-democracy Tim May philosophy, selling fascism under the guise of freedom. In 2009, Thiel wrote a piece where he said, "I no longer believe that freedom and democracy are compatible." Instead of voting, the extension of the franchise to women had made it impossible to have a capitalist democracy. Speaking of PayPal, let's look at the other founder.
My hope for, I guess, crypto in general is that money has less error, where, like I said, error is like any kind of government interference or fraud or anything like that. Government is just a corporation in the limit. If you don't like corporations, you should really hate government.
Again.
But the reason, you'll have people like that is because ultimately corporations, they're dictatorships, and he is the dictator of his. He's the head dictator of his, depending on who exactly has the majority of shares and the majority of voting power on the board, right? They're going to be the ones in control of everything. In a corporate dictatorship where Elon Musk gets to decide everything, you could see why someone like that would be in opposition to the government, because the government, of course, even though it's not, you could argue real democracy under a capitalist system, because those with capital can influence it too much, you still have a system in which people can change out the government if they see fit. It's exactly why someone like Elon Musk would be like, well, this is why we need to move to other systems. I don't like the idea of the Federal Reserve, being in charge of the ones who actually print money. I would prefer if there was a decentralized currency that I can manipulate, being the world's richest human. And here we have it. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing. I can buy up a whole bunch of Bitcoin and then influence the price and value of the Bitcoin. I can control it. I can manipulate it. And when I need to, I can move it to another account. I can also turn it into centralized currency whenever I want to use stuff with that money again.
It's a corporation in the limit. If you don't like corporations, you should really hate government.
Again, Elon is saying, don't give power to the government, give it to the corporate elite. Twitter co-founder Jack Dorsey has chimed in as well.
When I saw Bitcoin in 2009, you see a chance to replace the whole foundation.
And Mark Zuckerberg's sister Randy really, really likes crypto.
It's too much cringe. You can't show this much cringe.
Oligarchs like Thiel, Elon
time.
Musk, Jack Dorsey, and the Zuckerbergs are supportive of cryptocurrency because it's part of the long-term project to keep billionaires free from public accountability, with power centralized in their cabal. And they want you to pay for it. The industry has been making a massive push to get working people to invest in their new economy.
Old money's not going to pick us up. It's systematically oppression.
You want to miss out on the crypto revolution?
Don't miss your opportunity.
Change your life.
Fortune favors the brave.
Remember the Super Bowl? The industry spent tens of millions of dollars on ads for a broadcast over 200 million people.
And the reason being is that they need regular people to pour money into it. You can't have your decentralized currency that's only you and a couple other billionaires, controlling it between each other. You need a whole bunch of rubes. You need a whole bunch of suckers. You need a whole bunch of people who are going to come along and be like, oh, what? This is the secret to fortune? What? Matt Damon? Is that you? I know you. I like you. I trust you. Okay? Goodwill Hunting would never do anything bad to me. I trust you, Matt. No, I'm going to get this new card. You see? This crypto.com card. And apparently I get what? I get get more return with every purchase if I invest in the crypto specific to this card. So I could have like 9% return on my purchases. I could have 20% return on my purchases. This sounds like it's too good to be true. How could I not? All right, I'll now invest a whole bunch of money into this proprietary cryptocurrency held by crypto.com. I'm going to get a whole bunch of money back on my credit card purchases, and we all win together, right? Collectively, because we're all on the same team. You see us all as equals.
Watched. Crypto acolytes have a line, "We're all going to make it," meant to suggest that crypto investors will all ride the market to the top. But the reality is 0.01% of all Bitcoin holders hold 27% of all Bitcoin available, worth $232 billion. That's 100 times worse wealth concentration than the regular economy. And it's being—
Wait, how much worse?
Super Bowl watched. Crypto acolytes have a line, "We're all going to make it," meant to suggest that crypto investors will all ride the market to the top. But the reality is 0.01% of all Bitcoin holders hold 27% of all Bitcoin available, worth $232 billion. That's 100 times worse.
I thought I misheard that. 100 times? Holy fuck. So this whole dream of a utopian, libertarian, decentralized, ANCAP super world turned out to be so much worse than just government-controlled and regulated capitalism. 100 times worse. We have the numbers now. If you ever know what like the future of an ANCAP world would look like, if they get to build their Bioshocks under the sea, or they get to build their private islands, or all those other things they're trying to build, that's how bad it'll be.
Wealth concentration than the regular economy. And it's being hoarded too. 75% of Bitcoin is illiquid, meaning it hasn't been moved in a long time. The top cryptocurrency exchanges, venture capital-backed tech companies that act as middlemen between working people and this supposedly open economy, hold a large portion of all available assets. These exchanges are backed by the same folks as the last system, the Goldman Sachs and Bains of the world, private equity, financial services firms, the big banks. If the financial institutions were a giant corrupt casino, then the crypto pioneers didn't try to change or destroy it, they simply built another one next door. And
a far worse one in every way. But they have complete control, so that part's good.
Blitz is working. 16% of Americans own or have owned cryptocurrency. In a country where 64% of people are living paycheck to paycheck, it makes sense that so many working people are finding hope in these big promises. If crypto crashes, it's working people convinced to gamble that will lose their money.
And one of the worst parts about that is the FOMO. Is every single time you see a story where it's like, hey, by the way, people who bought in at Doge at only $100 like a couple weeks ago, apparently that's worth like $10,000 today. Wait, what? Yeah. And then a week later, it's like, it's worth $100,000. It's like, people are just winning the lottery and they're all doing it together. And the line keeps on going up. It'll never stop going up. The king of Doge, Elon Musk himself, he's going to be on Saturday Night Live. When he goes on Saturday Night Live, Doge is going to go through the roof. It's going to hit $1. If you bought Doge at $1, like all of a sudden that dollar is going to turn into $1,000. Imagine if you put $50,000 in, what'll happen to you? Yeah, narrator, the line stopped going up. Like, if you were watching Doge, like, with SNL at the side, like I was, because I was so curious what was about to happen, it was like this. It went up from, like, 60 to 67 cents right when the episode started, and then free fall. It was just, like, so fast, and I was just like, oh, whoa. You can just see everyone is like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. And it was a domino effect. Every single person who was, like, just waiting to cash out and had their fingers on the buttons, boom, just like that. Right, you can just see it happen in real time.
Just like in a casino, people pour their money in, lose it all, and it's funneled to the top. But hey, maybe we're completely wrong. Blockchain, the tech that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are built on, could be revolutionary. New tech always has skeptics and detractors. So let's look at the last time the internet was revolutionized. People are calling blockchain-fueled tech Web 3.0. Web 2.0 was also sold as a democratization at the time, a move from the internet being controlled by domain owners to user-generated internet content like social media and YouTube, everything we understand about the internet today. Tim O'Reilly popularized that definition. You might not trust us on tech, but Tim is a legend of tech media.
There are
both productive and unproductive bubbles. The dot-com bubble was productive. We built out internet infrastructure. There was immense value right from the get-go. Contrast that, say, with the 2009 financial crisis, which was purely a bunch of grifters. When that bubble popped, there was literally nothing of value left that had been created. With crypto, we should be asking ourselves, if and when this bubble pops, what will be left over that is still valuable? And I would say it's been long enough. All of the valuable use cases with crypto have basically been tied up with financial speculation. There may be things that happen with crypto that we're going to go, oh, wow, yes, that, but we're not there yet.
We also talked to Grady Booch. He developed some of the most widely used coding languages everything else is built on. He points to the political philosophy driving most Web 3.0 development.
All technology is political. Now, I'm not a politician, I'm not a sociologist, but looking at it from the outside, you can see that there are some extreme libertarian politics that have fueled the creation of all cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin in particular. All cryptocurrencies are just the same old power structures, but with shiny new technology.
Okay, I would like to refute that right now with a case in point. Someone stole Seth Green's Bored Ape, which was supposed to star in his new show. The actor had been pleading on Twitter with Darkwing84, who bought his ape from a scammer to return it. Actor and producer Seth Green was robbed of several NFTs this month after succumbing to a phishing scam that inadvertently threw a monkey wrench into his plan for a new animated series. The forthcoming show was developed from the character in Green's expansive NFT collection, but in light of the recent hack, the project's blatant crypto optimism has tragically, ironically reminded him of the industry's shadier side. On Saturday, Green teased the trailer for the White Horse Tavern at the NFT conference. Wow, I didn't know how much he'd bought into this. Wait, it's like Roger Rabbit style, real life, but with NFTs? Oh, man.
The way that I have...
Hey, Gary!
Yeah, how are you?
How you doing? Good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Never been before. I think it's the first time. Death do them part. Don't.
I'm just saying, till death do they part, maybe tonight.
I kind of want that rose.
Don't take the rose, sweet.
I'm taking my break.
What? Oi!
Can any of you tell me what this is about? Is it just like hijinks in a bar where NFTs are also real?
Can I open up to you? Of course.
Don't do that to your friends.
You just put that on somebody who's not being paid.
You're about 1 G&T away from a screaming match. Now those two are doomed.
Just have so much love together.
This is so painfully bad. Even from a like, this is going to be kind of a funny, I don't know, comedy set in a bar, like a Friends, sorry, a Cheers style thing. Like, have they made a joke yet? Is it even a comedy, or is it like a drama? Is it a love story? Is it about the love between people and NFTs? Whoa, that would be so fucking meta.
Coming right up.
Want me to rough him up? I am the only gay guy in my ballet class who can make a fist.
Like what? I'm the only gay guy in my ballet class who can make a fist. Are you ready to wrap it up?
We need a festival. A festival for people who do not depend on anyone else.
You're never in a relationship.
Yeah, I like it that way. If I don't come in Monday, pick me up at the ICU.
Wanna grab a slice or something?
Yeah, nah, no thanks.
Nah, none taken. I was just being polite.
That is so sad. That is so sad, Seth Green. Unfortunately for Green, what also matters is copyright law. And when the actor's NFT collection was pilfered by a scammer in early May, he lost the commercial rights to the show's cartoon protagonist, a scruffy bored ape named Fred Simeon, whose likeness and usage rights now belong to someone else. I bought the ape in July 2021 after I spent the last several months developing and exploiting the IP to make it into the star of the show. 3 days before, his name was Fred, by the way, days before he's set to make his world debut, he was literally kidnapped. On May 8th, an anonymous scammer swiped 4 of Green's NFTs in a phishing scheme. Green also mourned his stolen assets on Twitter, where he announced the loss of a bored ape, 2 mutant apes, and a doodle, which were transferred out of Green's wallet after he unknowingly interacted with the phishing site. One of the mutant apes was flipped for $42,000. Motherboard reported. Transaction ledgers showed the bored ape was sold by the scammer to a pseudo-anonymous collector known as Darkwing84, who purchased it for more than $200,000. The NFT was then swiftly transferred to a collection called the GBE Vault. If the current owner wanted to cause trouble for Seth, they probably could, because that person becomes the holder of any commercial rights usage. Daniel Dublin, a tax litigation attorney. Okay, so we watched something by Legal Eagle on the legal holdings of NFTs, and it didn't say conclusively that all NFTs also grant you the commercial rights, but apparently in the case of these specific ones, it does. NFT copyright law can be a thorny issue. A growing number of NFT projects are granting owners the right to commercially adapt their works, which has been a useful strategy for increasing band visibility. Man, I don't see only the bored ape ones you can. That, like, from a legal perspective, or sorry, from an advertising perspective, that makes so much sense, because it's like, yeah, you have the copyright to this one specific drawing. We have an AI that's made, like, 10,000 of them. I don't give a fuck. But if you go out and you turn it into a cartoon series, because you're a big, rich, famous celebrity, to try and pull more suckers into buying into this whole thing, to try and make it seem more normalized, more appealing, win-win. Everyone wins. Seemingly aware of the problem his ape's new owner could cause, Green has spent the last several days tweeting at Darkwing84 in an attempt to reclaim the bored ape, appealing to them on Monday to work it out between us. A Green supporter even sent them a message by the way of an ENS domain that spells out contact Seth Green on twitter.eth. It's unclear if Darkwing84 knew the ape was illicitly obtained when they purchased it and did not want to respond to a tweet from BuzzFeed News. Naturally. Ordinarily, bona fide purchase are legally protected if you buy an item not knowing that it's a hot item. Okay, so he'd even be protected there. Goldman theorized there will be a lot of questions whether they're buying a stolen NFT, not doing their homework. After the story was published, Green responded on Twitter to allegations about the stolen ape means for the future of his show. Not sure, since the art was stolen, a buyer who purchased stolen art with real money and refuses to return it is not legally entitled to exploitation usage under the underlying IP. It'll go to court, but prefer to meet Darkwing84 before that. Seems we have a lot in common. Aw, Seth. It's been a rough week. Green has speculated that the attack could have been a machination of a person, foreign financial conglomerate, or some massive scam house somewhere. I don't know if you saw the other huge scam that happened yesterday. Monkeypox Inu coin apparently just randomly had a giant rug pull, $400 million worth. Who was buying Monkeypox Inu coin? How do these random shit coins get $400 million of suckers to buy into them? It's so utterly bizarre.
Crypto advocates are cementing their power by making alliances in Washington, D.C., in the same ways as the financial industry before them. Industry groups spent $9 million on lobbyists in 2021, quadruple what they spent in 2018, and they already have super PACs. One, Protect Our Future, has raised $14 million. Another, GMI PAC, plans to spend $20 million on state and federal elections in 2022. Members of Congress own crypto too, and the lack of regulation makes their ownership much more opaque than even normal stocks. The crypto lobby isn't coming, it's here, and it's already influencing elections and policy.
Cool.
So where is all of this going? A recent Citigroup report suggests crypto balances at the tipping point of mainstream acceptance or speculative implosion. Developments in the near term are likely to prove decisive, which is ominous. A $3 trillion industry that could either become a new way of life, growing to the size of or eclipsing the existing financial system, entangling itself with our governments and institutions along the way, or it could collapse entirely, losing millions of Americans their investments. In May of 2016, the global cryptocurrency
So you're saying there's no good possible outcome.
market cap, that's the value of the entire industry, was $10 billion. By late 2021, it was near $3 trillion. And May 2022, down to $1.23 trillion. Crypto billionaires were united in their message. Don't panic, don't sell, keep buying. And it could go further than crypto owners. Think of 2008. The shadow banking system was so entwined with the real one, both went down when one collapsed.
You know what's wild though? If it does turn into the massive collapse, like everyone's been speculating, so much of that has to do with the built-in greed that so many crypto projects have been engaging in. so many rug pulls. Look at or just more complex ones like Luna and Terra. But like, I think for this entire system to work, it required there not to be an overabundance of theft and scams, of which there seems to be both. So it's hard, no matter how many Matt Damons you have. You can have like 20 Matt Damons, 40 Matt Damons, 40 Matt Damons, and one Naked Thor. It doesn't matter. People eventually are going to look at this and be like, well, yeah, I know there's Matt Damons and the God Dong and all that kind of stuff, but like, this just seems very volatile, you know? Everyone's getting scammed left and right.
Crypto elites are already working on entwining the industry into the traditional financial systems that they were trying to escape. There are crypto ETFs and crypto IRAs. Union, public and state pension funds are making crypto investments. So ironically, crypto could get to the point where the industry relies on the type of government bailouts that they were supposedly formed to combat. So
yeah, totally.
What can be done realistically to protect the finances of working Americans and keep crypto elites from seizing even more power? What the progressives have been trying to do to the traditional financial industry all along. Rein them in, regulate them, and truly decentralize things. Break up all the wealth and power of the elites robbing America's working class. And when people hold a lot of cryptocurrency, it should be transparent and regulated as other forms of assets. And hey, while we're at it, let's strengthen all of those regulations against the traditional banking industry too. Crypto acolytes may have taken the wrong lesson from the last financial crisis, but it's not too late to stop them from causing the next one.
Sorry.
Thank you for joining us in The Classroom, a series by More Perfect Union. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the rest of the channel.
One of the reasons at the very end of that they tell you where all the footage comes from is that that's how you can use it under fair use, just for the future. If any of you are making, you actually have to be a little bit more specific than this, but I guess they were just worried that someone might try and shut this down because a crypto bro got mad. But you have to tell, if you're making a documentary, where the footage comes from, usually what the copyright holder and the year is, in addition to that. Really good. So if you want to check out the actual content creator who is behind it, that's münecat. münecat has her own channel and it's really fucking based. I would go check it out. But More Perfect Union is basically becoming the answer to PragerU in a lot of ways, where it's just all these awesome short form videos and documentaries, and they're often centered around issues of unionization. And yeah, münecat is most definitely super awesome.
Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form, available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback, because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Just, we are prepared to embark on a mighty jihad in your name. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your humble jester, attempting in vain to get you to laugh. To our valiant knights of the Round Table, Benji Arnie, Tech Tink, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Mayred, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood. It doesn't matter what I believe, it only matters what I can prove. Egbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Daniel Sutton, Coulter Smith, Jenna Tao, Quiet 185, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, The Tim Caucus, Multimondi, Trevbot, EXE, Brian Ephraim, Lemmy 101, Anthropophojack, Saren 42, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Incosin, Agent NDN, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Zach Christensen, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. We raise our mugs and salute our brave heroes off to another glorious conquest.